Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Wait, I know what you're thinking. Where can I get some of that sweet, sweet goods merchandise? I mean, you are right. It is pretty stylish and creatively designed. I'll tell you where you can go get it. You can go to teespring.com. If you look in the link description below, it'll take you to a website where you'll see all the gear that we wear here on the channel. Plus, you'll be, as the kids say, lit while they look at your fit. And that is probably the most disturbing thing I've ever said on this show. Just go buy a shirt.
Hey guys, so I came across an article from Variety that actually made an interesting comment.
Okay.
And the comment was that Halloween is a knockoff of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Did they have like clear and concise like details in how they were like similar? Because if you've seen both the films, you would absolutely know that they are not.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned that, Terrence. And that's what our discussion is going to be about today. So we're going to go through some similarities of...
This is going to be generic horror tropes. There's like, people got killed. They were teenagers. They were at a house they had never been to before. It's like, yeah, those are things that both happened in the film, but that they both wore masks. They both used lethal objects to kill people. That's like, that's stupid. That's every horror movie.
True, but there's more to it than that.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre was loosely based, as Psycho was loosely based on Ed Gein,
Right.
The serial killer in Wisconsin back in the 50s.
Right.
Okay? So that's a true story. That completely...
By the way, that's not the
completely
only
stops the
films
whole-
that actually
whole thing.
is. So Silence of the Lambs were based on him, and it was
Yes.
like there's an Ed Gein movie. There's a bunch of films that were based
Silence
on
of the
this.
Lambs is a knockoff of the Texas... No.
Yeah,
All right,
I mean,
so here
there,
goes.
I could make that assumption more than I can make Halloween.
So Halloween was made in 1978.
Okay.
And the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was made in 1974.
Oh my God, I see the parallels.
Okay,
the
so
70s.
Right, but it was 4 years after Chainsaw Massacre,
Right.
which means that you got 4 years to copy this movie. This movie came out. Oh, it's an inspiration. Now let's just talk about Chainsaw Massacre straight up right now. Tobe Hooper freaking directed a brilliant freaking movie that makes you believe of the horror that's going on, makes you feel everything that those characters are going through without any gore.
Okay.
So that's really, I don't want to say impossible, obviously, because he did it, but that's a really tough task to do.
Right.
But okay, so there's that.
Okay.
4-year difference. Killers are both masked.
Okay.
All right. Inspired by a true story. Chainsaw, yes. Halloween, no.
Right.
Okay. The weapon of choice. Leatherface has a chainsaw. Michael has a knife.
Right.
All right.
They're cutting utensils.
Now, here's where I don't where I really don't think of it as a knockoff. When you're looking at a slasher knockoff or a slasher, that is more of inventive weapons, knives, stuff like that.
Right.
Leatherface, it is a slasher film in a sense, but a chainsaw is that's all he uses. He never really changes it up with the exception of the meat hook and the mallet.
Right.
Okay? But he really doesn't. But those are the weapons of choice for either one.
Is MC Hammer a knockoff of Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Sorry.
Genre, this is where I was getting at with this.
Okay.
Now, I would say that Halloween is a suspense slasher.
Uh-huh.
And Texas Chainsaw Massacre is more of a psychological slasher. In a sense where you don't see some of the kills happen.
Right.
It's insinuated.
Right.
When he puts the girl on the hook, you never see her really get on the hook.
Right.
You can tell she's on it, but they don't show it. Okay?
Okay.
So obviously the mallet to the head, I mean, that sucks. Okay, I get that. But okay, so but it's, you don't see Franklin getting freaking butchered when they're in the freaking field.
And
You
I
know,
feel like Texas
it's all
Chainsaw Massacre
psychological.
was more about the family. I mean, outside of that one particular character, it was really more about the family than it was about like a individual serial killer.
I love that idea, and that's absolutely correct. I'll get to that in a minute. All right, now let's talk about the character of the killer character.
Right.
All right. Michael Myers is silent, says nothing. Leatherface grunts, and
kinda
you know,
screams and stuff like
he
that.
kind of like almost squeals like a pig in a way. Okay, so two completely different type of
He's method acting. He's like, I'm wearing a pig mask, so you know.
human skin, actually.
Okay.
All right, the setting. Haddonfield is a small town in Illinois where the I guess if you want to call them the Sawyers, I guess the Sawyer home
takes place on a dirt road in the middle of nowhere.
It's in the freaking rural country. It's out there in the country. So completely different settings as well.
Right.
Okay. Their home is a standalone home out there with nothing, just the home.
Okay.
And obviously this is in the suburbs.
Right.
So it's a different type of horror.
Right.
Okay. The killer's MO, Michael stalks.
Right. Oh no, they just come get you and Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, they torment you.
Yeah.
They torment you with fear. That's why, the Marilyn Chambers, the Marilyn Chambers, is that her name? I can't remember her name.
No, Marilyn Chambers is a different woman.
Yeah, no.
It's important to do something that you really enjoy, and I mean, if people are going to come watch me, then I'll keep doing it.
Sorry.
It's a definitely different woman.
But she's she goes, Sally Hawkins. That's
there you go.
But she goes and she's like completely terrified because they're tormenting her with all of this with the family and how they are, with that. So very different as far as their MO on what they do with their victims, right? And they eat them too. That's another thing. All right.
Yeah. What was that in Halloween?
You look at the way Carpenter shot Halloween. Very clear, almost borderline high def. Sometimes.
I mean, he had 4 years of technology.
And Tobe Hooper directed using a Claire NPR 16mm camera with fine grain.
Yeah.
So you saw that graininess.
They were like,
grittiness.
what camera can we borrow to do this movie?
Where Halloween was filmed with a Pans glide that steadies the camera.
As a matter of fact, I saw some behind the scenes. I was watching, and I'm going to bring it up a little bit later, but I was watching on Netflix The Movies That Made Us, and it was talking about Halloween, and it was talking about how
it's on there? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it was talking about how they actually got that camera, how they were using it, just kind of like playing with it for different shots. That camera was amazing. It was like, I guess the equivalent now would be like a gimbal, where like it's like you could just do that tracking shot. You can follow behind somebody and keep it nice and smooth, where you feel like you're walking with them. And I was like, for them at that time, I bet you felt like they had the latest technology that was going on. So yeah, I mean, it's a complete difference in type of cinematography from that movie to the other one. So.
Very true. All right, number of kills. Halloween has 6. Chainsaw has 5. Bloodless.
Oh my God, it's there. It's right there.
Bloodless,
it's
violent
there.
Without gore. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, you didn't get to see the gore, even though you got to see like kind of the. No, look, it was without gore. We'll say that it was without gore.
All right, so The Mask, obviously, I would say both of them are iconic.
Yeah, of course.
I would say both of them are iconic.
They both had hair, or did it have hair, or was that his hair?
It was just his face.
Yeah, it was just his. That was his hair.
But I would say that Michael's mask is a lot. It takes it to a whole other level,
right? Because
of the blank, emotionless type of face that it is. Like there's nothing there. Okay. All right. They're both childlike.
Yeah. There you go. That's the one. I will absolutely give you that one. They're both childlike.
They're both childlike. So yeah. So in that regards, yeah. And the last one. Now,
there's a lot of other movies that are like that too.
I would say, I would honestly say that Texas Chainsaw Massacre influenced the gore genre despite being goreless.
Because of what was insinuated.
Right.
Yeah.
Where Halloween straight up created an entire freaking slasher genre that carried the entire 80s. Like everything after Halloween and Friday the 13th. Because Friday the 13th is flat out knockoff of Halloween.
I was just going to bring that up.
And after Friday the 13th and all the money that made... Then you got your Terror Trains, your freaking Prom Nights, your My Bloody Valentines, you got all of these from Halloween.
Right.
So what the influence of Halloween is way different than an influence of Chainsaw Massacre.
I feel like the person who wrote this article was looking for something that was going to catch people's attention, so that way it would spark a debate to where he can get a lot of clicks and views, and maybe people could speak his name about like, oh, this writer wrote this ridiculous article about this, and we're continually talking about it. Well, like I said, if you want to talk about something that was copied, they even said it. Once again, look on Netflix where it says The Movies That Made Us, because they actually talk about Friday the 13th. They literally say, I want to do Halloween.
Yes.
They literally, it was like, they absolutely said, I just want to do Halloween. They wanted to do Halloween, and they made their own version of Halloween. It just happened to be on another day that you could consider spooky, Friday the 13th. And they made up their own backstory, but they were literally patterning it after Halloween. So only person in this whole argument that needs to talk about like they got ripped off is Halloween. Texas Chainsaw getting ripped off, unless you want to talk about like another movie with a chainsaw and a guy in a skin mask or something like that. Silence of the Lambs. But nobody ripped this film off.
So, with the exception of Jaws, where
He had a chainsaw? Jaws had a chainsaw?
yes, he did, because one of the things that separates Halloween from every single horror film, with the exception of Jaws, is the music.
Right. Okay.
So, the music in Halloween completely separates it from everything.
I don't remember any specific iconic music from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Exactly, except for the strings and the that type of thing. But that's it.
Yeah.
You know, it's very country, and then, you know, they get
Yeah.
almost like a banjo type of freaking song.
Because
so-
they wanted you to know that you were like in the middle of nowhere with all these like country bumpkins and some shit was about to go down. That's all they wanted to establish in that. And it was like with Halloween, they were really trying to work on the score to build up the tension and the stress, and it was like
Right.
the fear of the unknown at that point. So,
Exactly, and that's a great word because, and I just mentioned the mask and the emotionless face that it is, and yeah, that is basically what the boogeyman is. It's unknown. You have no idea what it is. So, with everything that Halloween is, there's just absolutely no way to me that it's a knockoff.
Oh,
of-
not at all.
If anybody's gonna say anything that it's close to being a knockoff, it's Psycho. It's Psycho. I mean that's the grandfather of slashers in my opinion.
Okay.
And I would say that Carpenter's take on how he filmed Halloween and added the
So
music and
confused.
everything.
Outside of
I
there
think
being a
Hitchcock-
person with a knife.
I think Hitchcock did the same thing because the screeching of the in the music of Psycho in the shower scene. I mean that's iconic.
Yeah, of course.
That's iconic. So, that's why I'm saying that if it's a knockoff of anything, I would probably say, and I don't even consider it a knockoff, I would probably say an homage.
Yeah.
An homage to Psycho. But there's no way in hell that it's a freaking knockoff
No, not at all.
of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So,
Nah, this guy was just looking for people to click on his link and click on his article, and a lot of people get, so you even see it sometimes where like people kind of give like these off the wall reviews of movies where they're knowing like they're just kind of over, like I hated this film, and it was like just going over the top about things that they didn't like about it, and it was like, really, was it that bad? Just because they want to have their review stand out. This guy wanted to have his article stand out in a sense where like, hey, look, this is a horror month, we're talking about it. Or he's never watched either one of the films outside of once.
well, he has seen them. He said, from what I read, he has
can
seen them
watch
a lot.
once. I can
And-
watch this one time. I can watch this one time, and say like, "Oh, there's horror tropes. Oh, look, there's teenagers. Oh, look, they died. Oh, look, they had weapons. Oh, look, they wore masks." Yeah, I can make those same things and say that this is the reason why that they are similar. But then you would be talking about 99% of all of horror if that's how you're gonna look at it.
I am his opinion is his opinion. He's right. He's rightful to it.
No,
That's fine.
there you go.
Very
I think
well
he's
written
wrong.
article. I'm gonna give you that for straight up. It is a very well written article, and shit to a point where I was like, shit, it had me believing a little bit. But the more that I dove into my mental suitcase of everything that I have taken from all of these movies that I have seen so many times, I just don't see it. Like I just can't accept it. And
there's even a
for
YouTube
those
channel where
reasons.
they do that. It was like how such and such movie is exactly like so and so movie, and all they do is they take like the generic portions of the movie and they compare it to other generic portions of the movie and say like, hey, they were exactly the same. In those contexts, or in that context, yeah, they could be looked at the same, but that doesn't mean that they're the exact same movie because there's other things that kind of flesh out each one of these films that don't make them the same.
Yeah, the only one that I'll agree is Force Awakens is Star Wars. Terrence, take us home.
All right, guys. I mean, it's still horror month. Maybe, possibly by the time this video comes out. Make sure you put your comments below as how you feel about these two films. Are they the same? Are they not? If you say that they're the same, you're wrong. Make sure you subscribe as well as click the notification button so that way you're aware of all the other videos that we do on the channel. We try to have discussions like this as far as how we feel about certain things. So if you guys are into it, give us a topic. Put it in the comments. Let us know. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, and please put it on the comments below and let us know which one you prefer. Do you prefer Halloween or do you prefer Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I mean, they're the same to me. I mean, oh my God, I just said it. They're the same. I enjoy them equally.
There you go. That's
a
a good one. All right. For Ask Me on the Couch doing absolutely nothing, and Carla and Art, wherever the hell they're at, I'm Manny.
I'm Terrence.
And we'll see you next time.
Wait, guys, are you still here? I'm glad you're still here. All right, so if you look down, I mean, it's somewhere over here. Look down. We actually have a Patreon. So if you guys watch the show and you really like what we want to do and you want to help support the show and you want to help me get an editor so I can get to sleep at night because I'm really tired and you guys see all my mistakes in the episodes. So please go to patreon.com/thegoods. Give us a penny, give us a nickel, give us $1.
Just don't give us the finger.
Don't do that. But make sure you do donate something because we do have some giveaways. There's posters, there's t-shirts.
I'll sign something for you.
Exactly. So take a look, guys, and help us out. We appreciate it.